WrestleManias are good. They are probably the best pay-per-views of the year. Like, I remember back when they're good, like WrestleMania 30, for example. Like, that was fantastic, and I dare you to find a better pay-per-view that year. But when they're bad,
Challenge accepted.
When they're bad, they are bad like a fox. Like, they are unspeakably, horrifically, monstrously bad. Today, we're talking about those kinds of WrestleManias. The absolute dregs. The worst of the worst. And oddly enough, the two WrestleManias that your brain automatically goes to when you think worst WrestleManias, 9 and 27, neither of them are on our list. This is our personal picks. Like, these are the ones that we think are just a cut below the rest. So, joining me today, as always, Kanako the Squirrel.
Hey.
And Voice of Reason.
Pain! Nothing but pain!
See, these chuckle fucks, they watched the pay-per-view back. I did the smart thing. I watched a Cultaholic video.
Coward.
You've
right,
never.
Who's going first?
I'll go first. Okay. So okay, let me ask you guys, what is the absolute worst year for wrestling?
1993 to 5. Take your pick.
Well, you got 1 year. I honestly think the worst year for wrestling, whether you were a WWE fan or WWF fan back then, or a WCW fan, the worst year for wrestling was 1995. And a good reason for that, at least on WWE's end, was their marquee show, WrestleMania 11, taking place in Hartford, Connecticut, literally just down the road from Stanford.
Yes, because when I think of WrestleMania cities, you got Boston, New Orleans, New York City.
Yeah, major
Hartford.
Step down from Madison Square Garden at 10. So,
yeah.
The main thing that people remember from the show that really hindered it, over-reliance on celebrities. Just from the opening video package, you saw nothing but who they got for the from past WrestleManias as celebrities. Mr. T, Muhammad Ali, Cyndi Lauper, Liberace, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Regis.
To be fair though, like, before then, it was mostly Hulk Hogan, and they couldn't go back to that well.
Yeah, because he was kind of with the other company at the time.
Whoopsie!
But yeah, so the first thing you notice is the over-reliance on celebrities. Because this was what I like to dub Celebamania. Because every other package or interview that they did, a celebrity was involved. I'm thinking it was Vince McMahon's idea to have Nick Nitro of NYPD Blue be the be the backstage interview person for this. And each time I saw him backstage, I felt dead inside because he cannot. Sorry, say that again.
Tell me about how good this Nick fellow was. I'm sure it was fantastic.
Well, how do I put this? The first segment that he did, this was right after the awful Allied Powers versus the Blue Brothers match. His mic was not working.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this is the other thing that I'm pretty sure a lot of people forget about WrestleMania 11. There were a lot of production issues with the Mania. The big one was audio. Right off the beginning with the person who sang "America the Beautiful," she was like overmodulated. No, she wasn't overmodulated. The music was drowning her out. Like the background music was drowning her out. You couldn't hear her. But the other one was the mics were not working. So you had an entire segment of just Nick Turturro trying to find out where Pamela Anderson was at the time, and the entire segment was just dead air. You heard nothing but crowd noise.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had to cut back to Vince and Jerry Lawler, who were doing the audio commentary at the time. So basically, they had to stall for time until they can get to the next match. And then the other one, I actually didn't find this out about. I actually found out about this. I think it was 2017. Yeah, when What Culture was doing their fascinating facts about WrestleMania from 1 to 33. They forgot an additional ring apron.
Yep.
Yeah, so they only brought 3 of the WrestleMania ring aprons, and then one was just the standard WWF logo. So to get around it, they just put the WWF one on the opposite hard cam. You only noticed it when Shawn Michaels decided to walk on the side, escorting Jenny McCarthy to the ringside area. And then,
great job there, Sean.
Way to go.
You done good.
Yeah, so a lot of technical. So yeah, I'm talking about a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, a lot of technical issues and over reliance on the over reliance on celebrities. But what about the actual matches? Well, I can say outside of just 2, every single one of these was shit. The opening match. Lex Luger and British Bulldog, the Allied Powers, versus Jacob and Eli Blue was sloppy from start to finish. Right off the bat, they fucked up the tandem power slam, where it almost looked like, I think it was like Lex almost crushed one of the Blues Brothers' heads. Almost. The Blue Twins had a tough time selling. You could tell really obviously. The ref was a moron throughout the entire thing. And the ending, British Bulldog slipped trying to do the sunset flip for the pin, and the Blue Brothers ended up winning. And I forgot that Dutch Mantel, I forgot who his character was at the time, but then after that...
Wikipedia says Uncle Zebekiah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Zebediah. The
Mormon character.
Yes. I forgot about that.
I think Mormon or wait, which one is it? Fuck.
Well, anyway, you go back to Jim Ross, who's doing doing like the after interview segment with the match with every single match. You can barely understand him. So then you have the Intercontinental Championship match, Razor Ramon versus Jeff Jarrett. Again, more audio issues with the mic, this time with Howard Finkel in the ring. You can sort of pick it up on the cameras, but they eventually got everything fixed afterwards. So after that, Razor Ramon comes out with 1, 2, 3 Kid. Jeff Jarrett comes in with the Roadie, aka Road Dogg. So during the setup, Razor Ramon comes out. He attacks Jeff Jarrett in the ring to start the match. Then the entrance fireworks go on for Razor Ramon during the match. Again, another sloppy start. Razor Ramon is getting most of the offense. I counted in this match, there was 3 double knockouts in a row where Razor and Double J just clock each other, fall down. Then they start the count. Gets back up, clock each other, fall back down. No, the third time, clock each other, fall back down. It was annoying, and it ends up in a DQ.
Kids, that's what we call padding.
Yep.
So quick thing about Uncle Zebekiah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking Dutch Mantel.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know who Dutch Mantel is, that's Zeb Coulter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's what Zeb is short for. Zebekiah.
Huh.
Zebekiah Coulter. Huh.
Okay. And all right, now after that, I'm gonna say this was the worst match on the card. King Kong Bundy versus the Undertaker.
I remember that, man.
There was a lot of no selling in this match. There was a brief fight over the urn. King Kong Bundy had Taker in a rest hold for a good minute. The match was only about 7 minutes long. Undertaker won the match with a clothesline.
No.
A regular clothesline.
If I'm remembering correctly, it was a disqualification.
No. That was that was John Gonzalez 2 years earlier.
Oh.
Yes, but I'll say this: Undertaker winning with the clothesline is almost as bad as the DQ finish at 9.
Fair point.
Yeah. Then we get a couple other backstage segments. The segment with Lawrence Taylor's All-Star team is a bit awkward. I'll get to that later. Then there's another segment where Bob Backlund and Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement are playing chess, which is also really dumb, and I'm beginning to think Bob Backlund's a bit of a loony.
You think? The man's had more concussions than he's had title holds.
A little bit. The next match on that was Owen Hart and a mystery partner versus the Smoking Guns. Now,
actually, before you get to that match, can you answer me this one real quick? Who is Larry Young?
who?
Larry Young.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia thing, and the Undertaker King Kong Bundy's thing is singles match with Larry Young as special guest referee.
I have no clue.
They had a special guest referee that wasn't special. Phenomenal.
He is a former MLB umpire.
Oh.
Woo!
Interesting. I don't care. Okay,
It's
so
not interesting. That's the thing.
I know, that's called sarcasm. Okay, so Owen Hart and Mystery Partner versus the Smoking Guns. Now, initially, I found this out through What Culture. The initial thing was that Owen Hart was going to team up with his brother, his in-law. I forgot what is Jim Neidhart was married into the family, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so he was actually going to team up, and then the new foundation were going to take on the Smoking Guns, but that didn't happen because I have to watch the list again. But
Given that it's Jim Neidhart, it's probably drugs.
I think so. But would you like to hear who they almost got?
I remember this one.
Yep, they almost got, for Owen Hart's partner, Chris Benoit.
That would have been nice.
baby Chris.
Yeah, they would have got.
This...
Yeah, they would have actually brought in ECW Chris Benoit, who I think was teaming with Dean Malenko at the time for ECW's tag team. So for one night, I think for like one night to team up and take the titles off the Guns. But no, instead they went with Yokozuna.
The man made entirely out of titties.
And lots of fat. But,
and is Samoan, not Japanese.
Yes, we all know. Okay, now I will say there was solid tag team wrestling from Billy and Bart Gunn. That's the only praise I will give this match, because
the Gunn brothers are good.
Yes. With that being said, Yoko looked gassed right off the bat.
When hasn't Yoko looked gassed?
I want to say during WrestleMania 10, actually. He actually looked all right.
Well, he did do 2 matches and made it without being dead, so...
That's good.
Props.
Yeah. So, and yeah, then Yoko hits the bonsai drop, and then, and I think it was Bart? I don't remember. I don't want to bring back those memories. And Owen, then he tags Owen to get the pinfall about, 20 seconds later. So yeah, Owen Hart and Yokozuna, they're the new tag team champs. Yay.
To be fair, like if a big fat not Samoan guy or not Japanese guy fell on my chest, I would probably not want to get up afterwards. So
that's true. That is true. And then we get the
He
second.
might do it again.
Yeah. Then we get the second worst match on the card: Bob Backlund versus Bret Hart in an I Quit match. This was I think it was like a 3-part series with them. I think it was with SummerSlams. No.
They had a match on Raw that caused the heel turn for Backlund, which eventually led to him winning the title. Then they had a towel match at Survivor Series, which was, from what I've heard, very enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And then there's this match. This piece of shit.
This was so boring. How do you make a submission an I Quit match boring?
By thinking rest holds are submission.
Oh my god! And then you had Roddy Piper as a guest referee. Just keep on, just every time that like someone was in a hold or taking a break, going, "What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?"
Then the inaudible sound that Backlund made that was apparently him saying "I quit."
Really? Because it sounded like ah. Oh my god, this was bad. Oh my god, I almost fell asleep during this. I fell asleep during this match. It's like, and it was only like 9 minutes long.
It's pretty bad when Owen and Bret Hart can't even pull out good matches. Like, that's their whole gimmick. They have good matches.
To this day, Bret Hart calls this his worst match, his worst WrestleMania match of all time.
Does that include the one he had with Vince?
Well, they'll keep in mind this came out before his book came out before the infamous WrestleMania 26 match.
Yeah. I would like to hear his opinion on that now.
Yeah, so I will. Okay, WrestleMania. Okay, so that first 2/3 was nothing but awful. The last third was actually not that bad. You had the match of the night clearly was Diesel versus Shawn Michaels.
They're two of the best wrestlers at the time.
Right.
That's not saying a lot with Diesel. Like,
well, actually, while watching the match, Michaels did a lot. Michaels did a lot of the work, but Diesel did hold up on his own. I will say that he did a lot. He did actually get in a lot of good offense, a lot of good power moves. Again, this was the match where they had the wrong apron thing, and Jonathan Taylor Thomas was the timekeeper. Nick Turturro was the ring announcer. Apparently, Shawn really hates the photographers because every time he went out to the ring, he at least did either a dive outside or something on the outside. The photographers ended up getting in the way, which was kind of a problem with the match. Also, really good moves. A good bulldog off the top rope by Shawn. There might have been a botched finish if what ended up happening was Shawn Michaels took the jackknife wrong somehow. Apparently, he landed on his feet to lessen the blow. But it was still the best match on the card, followed by the second best match on the card, and I know that's weird saying this, Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor.
Well, Bam Bam Bigelow is amazing.
Yes. I was about to say, to be fair, though, the bar is like on the ground.
Yeah. So, seeing Lawrence Taylor actually do some pretty good work, surprisingly good work for someone who has like zero training in wrestling, I honestly compare it to both Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone at Bash of the Beach '98. It is actually.
I thought you were going to use something a bit more modern like that. I had one wrestler who did the really good match in TNA. Fuck, what's his name again?
Adam Pac-Man Jones.
No, the really recent.
The football player, running back.
Yeah.
Angelo Williams.
Him.
Yeah, it's comparable. Like D'Angelo Williams had a shockingly good match there, and so did LT. Like, and on top of that, that doesn't even take into account the fact that I think LT was retired by this point.
Yeah, he was retired by that point.
Yeah, so he's 37 years old. His body's probably not in the greatest shape it's ever been. Like his knees are probably
maybe.
borked.
Or at least mostly balked.
Well, 37 is ancient by football standards.
Oh yeah.
So.
And
even in wrestling, it's ancient.
Not really.
No,
like aging.
You can still have good clean matches at 37.
Like Bobby Roode is, I think, 37.
Yeah, well, and again, Cena's
almost... and I think he's been like wrestling for 20 years now.
Yeah, and Cena's like pushing 40, and he's still putting on decent matches.
Anyway,
Anyway, so yeah, honestly, that was not a bad match. I thought it was actually pretty darn good. That being said, it does not take away. Those two matches cannot save the show whatsoever. Every other match on this card was garbage. It really showed that WWE was in the worst of times, and they didn't get better until, well, I can't even say next year, because the following year was WrestleMania 13.
12.
Well, 12. And then, I know 12, but then I meant the following after 12 was 13. That's what I'm saying.
12 was decent.
Yeah.
12 was the Iron Man match. 12 was Stone Cold versus... Oh, wait, Sophie. 1 second.
Well, that was Michael's Heart.
Yeah, Michael's Heart was like the whole show.
And don't forget the pre-taped Hollywood Backlot Brawl.
Right.
Which was good.
Well, that was fun. I liked it, even though...
Ultimate Warrior munching on a baby Triple H.
Oh yeah. Oh, and what was it? Taker versus Diesel. That was actually pretty decent.
Another good, yeah.
Okay. So let's get out of. Let's see if we can try and get out of the 90s. So let's go.
Fuck you. We're going earlier.
Wait, you want to go to the 80s? Okay, Kanako, you're up.
So, when we were picking this, I noticed that a lot of the Voice and Nikki were like, let's go with obscure ones. I went, fuck it, I'm going to go low-hanging fruit. I went with WrestleMania 2.
Oh.
Anyone who knows the story of WrestleMania 2 knows why I put it on the list. Because whoever's idea it was to host WrestleMania or a pay-per-view at all over 3 locations should be fired and called an idiot for the rest of their life. I think it was Vince, by the way.
Also, it was held on a Monday.
Yes, it was held on a Monday.
Also, quick question: does this mean that all three of these things had its own main event? So does that technically mean that the British Bulldog and Beefcake and Valentine have main evented WrestleMania, technically?
Technically, yes.
Fantastic.
Along with Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. T.
Well, they main evented last year.
True. Anyway, I did some math while Voice was talking. If you were in New York or you were in Chicago, you got royally fucked over when it come to how much wrestling you got to watch. Both shows got 25 minutes, roughly, of wrestling.
Oh, wow.
That is sad.
LA, just with half their card, got 21 minutes. Nearly 22 minutes. Then you throw on their other 2 matches, it knocks them over 30 minutes of wrestling.
Still, 30-minute WrestleManias. How long is the one this year going to be? Like 14 days?
A lot longer. Now, here's the thing. Each show got 4 matches. So if it was like, 4 matches, okay, let's give each show like an hour. And then you'd have your first ever 3-hour Mania. But it would be over 3 shows, so it'd technically be only an hour. So... here's the worst thing about the card.
You can't really ask people like, say, on Uncle Elmer or Hercules Hernandez or whoever George Wells is to wrestle like long matches like that.
George Wells is a former professional footballer.
Okay.
Yes.
He probably doesn't need to be wrestling 15-minute classics then.
Now, on this card, there's only like, let's see, each card pretty much only had one match that is like worth talking about. The archaic match of Mr. T versus Rowdy Roddy Piper for New York, which was only commentated by Vince McFucking-Man.
Oh, yeah, did he have like another person on that card too?
For what do you mean?
No, when Vince was doing commentary? I thought didn't he have like another person on commentary too?
Oh yeah, there was some lady who kept saying, "Oh my," or something like that.
It was 1 second.
Something St. Cloud.
Oh wait, Susie St. James.
Susie St. James. There it is. I knew it was saying something.
Yeah, yeah. She is on the Wikipedia classified as special guest announcer.
Oof.
New York got fucked over on this thing because they have their ring announcer is probably the best thing they have. They had Joan Rivers and Howard Finkel.
Ugh. I mean, I like Joan Rivers. She was a decent comic, but I gotta say this.
Let's see. New York, they had for their guest announcer, once again, Susie St. James, and then for the guest timekeepers, they had really Wikipedia.
Who? Okay,
so I'm gonna just. Okay, this has nothing to do with the pay-per-view, but the Wikipedia page says that special guest timekeepers was Herb, and when I hover over the hyperlink, it's taking me to Herb's, the actual plant.
Oh, wow.
Somebody fix that, please.
No, never fix it.
Anyway, Ray Charles is the person who sung America the Beautiful this year, because it was early on in Mania we could actually pull big names like this. So yeah, the Chicago show, in my opinion, is probably it's the worst one.
Really?
Like
over New York?
New York has two decent matches, a okay comedy match, and a kind of a really bad match.
It was minus 5 stars.
I know.
Yeah, but minus 5 stars is almost a term of endearment. It's almost like you have to see this shit.
Minus 5 stars means it's either incredibly bad, watch it, it's funny, or hey, this was a comedy match. I don't really like comedy matches. But the Chicago show is just not good. We had the WWE versus NFL Battle Royal, which it was a battle royal that lasted less than 10 minutes. The person who won it was Andre the Giant, last eliminating Bret Hart. And then the main event is, once again, the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid, with Lou Albano and Ozzy Osbourne as their managers. The fuck?
$20 says Ozzy Osbourne has no recollection of this.
High as fuck. And they faced the Dream Team. Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Greg Valentine.
Versus and Greg.
And Greg Valentine. I am tired. And they had Jolly Valiant with them. Yeah, this show was really... This is the this is the thing that I'm surprised didn't kill WrestleMania. Because it wasn't the fact that, like, I don't know how the people... You know how much people bitched about... which Raw was it? Raw 25? The one that was at Madison Square?
Yeah, that was Raw 25.
Yeah, over 2 shows and one... And when you didn't have a match on at your place, you had to sit and watch a TV screen.
Mm-hmm.
That happened on this show as well.
Yeah,
And it was a WrestleMania.
Yes. And, like, even the fucking, like, good show, which is the LA show, has 2 kind of terrible matches. We've got Ricky Steamboat, great, versus Hercules Hernandez, and Andrian Adonis versus Uncle Elmer.
Two really big people who cannot move.
Yeah. And then we had the Funk brothers, Hoss and Terry Funk. They had Jimmy Hart as their manager, and they were facing the Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana. This match went on for 11 minutes. It got more runtime than the Battle Royal. It got more runtime the first half of the New York card. It got more fucking runtime than the fucking main event of the show.
That's sad.
But speaking of which, that main event was Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in the old big blue steel cage, which I think looks cool but is dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Fun fact, also from the What Culture thing, this is the only traditional steel cage match in WrestleMania history.
Huh.
Yes.
Everything else has been a Hell in a Cell match.
Also, I think this was also Bruno Sammartino's only WrestleMania match.
It was his only pay-per-view of any
It was
kind.
his own... the only time he'd ever been on pay-per-view.
Well, good for him. I'm sure that he would put that right up there among his great achievements. Being in a battle royale.
Being in a battle royale and not winning it.
With football players.
I'm going to just quickly check
voice.
I'm going to quickly see if I can find it, because it's probably listed here anyway. I
think it only has, like, the people who were in it that didn't have the order of eliminations.
Yeah. There was a lot of... this is the kind of like the... one of the culminations of Celebmania, because it's like... I'm looking at the list. There was probably about the same amount of wrestlers on the card than there was celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm just looking at the participants. There were... Okay, this is one where Fridge Parody was in.
Ted Ossity?
Russ Francis, Bill Fralick.
Oh, I think I remember Bill Fralick. I think he was in the '85 Bears.
Tony we've got, from a wrestling standpoint, the Hart Foundation, Tony Atlas, the Killer Bees, Hillbilly Jim, the Iron Sheik, King Tonga, which some of you may know his kids.
Yep. B. Brian Blair, Big John Studd, Jim. Yeah, this is kind of a shit. Yeah, this is a shit mania. The following.
Yeah.
This is.
It didn't even get good football players. Like I don't recognize hardly any of these guys, and I know everything about football.
You know what's sad?
His fucking cutie mark is a football.
It is.
You know what's sad? That there were more recognizable players as LT's entourage than there are in this match. Like everyone knows who Steve McMichael is.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo.
Yeah.
And also the special
The
guest
80s
referees in the Battle Royales is kind of recognizable too. You got Dick Butkus and Ed Too Tall Jones. There's some names.
So I'm just going to say this now. if this ever finds its way back to Jim Cornette, because I don't know why, but I have a feeling. All I have to say is the fucking 80s sucked. Fuck off.
Ouch. Okay, well, how did 2000 do?
Not much better. Like, I will fully admit, WrestleMania 2000 is a bit of a controversial pick to put on this list because it's not the worst, okay? But you kind of got to grade WrestleMania 2000 a little bit more harshly because think about what all was going on around WrestleMania 2000. Like, 2000 kicked ass in pro wrestling for WWE. Like, the Royal Rumble was great. You had that no way out Hell in a Cell match between Cactus Jack and Triple H. You had Austin coming back at Backlash. You had the rise of guys like Kurt Angle, Benoit, Chyna, Guerrero, who are all coming into their own. Fucking the 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. Shane McMahon jumping off of every goddamn thing.
SummerSlam 2000.
The 3 greatest tag teams in the world.
Yeah. Like, all of that stuff going on in the year 2000. And then you got this turd. This little overbooked plop dropped right into the middle of it. And it just doesn't, like, compare at all to any of the stuff that would come before or after it in that calendar year.
The the 3 things that I like are at the start of the show. That being the hardcore battle royal, because I like me a hardcore battle royal.
That's fine.
You know, the cheesehead thing, because that was fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then the triangle ladder match, because it's the 3 best tag teams in the world having a fucking ladder match.
Yeah. Like, now, to kick off the show, normally WrestleMania starts off, at least nowadays, in the modern era, with either, like, some kind of hardcore match or a really good technical match. You know what I mean? Like, and there's 2 matches on this card that you'd think would be perfect for that. Either the triangle ladder match or the triple threat Eurocontinental title match.
Or the hardcore battle royal.
Sure. You could go with that as well. None of those kicked off the show. Instead, we had Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan, which...
With Ice-T.
Hold on. I'll get to Ice-T in a second. Ice-T was with the Godfather and D'Lo Brown, and Ice-T came down to the ring with the Godfather singing Pimpin' Ain't Easy.
Get on the Ho train.
Give it up for the hoes.
God, I love the Attitude Era. I miss it. It's stupid as fuck.
But yeah, like going into this, I had no idea that Ice-T was popping up here, so that's neat. I will say this, like I was giving Bull Buchanan shit a couple minutes ago, but like he's not bad. He's not bad in the ring. Like you would think, like he's bounced around. He's been in WWE on and off for like a decade. Like he was in Right to Censor. He was with John Cena during his rapping days. Like you'd think that, like if he bounced up and down from the main roster to out of the main roster that often, like I don't know, maybe I just internalized that he would be kind of shit, but it wasn't bad. Wasn't the worst wrestler I've seen. The match was boring, like it was just kind of there, but man, Buchanan was okay. But either way, it was like when the best worker in the match is Big Boss Man Mayday.
So
yeah, then we had the hardcore title battle royale, whole bunch of wackiness and nonsense.
I love this match. It encapsulates the era of the hardcore title in a nutshell, and I'm so glad that they did it.
In the match we had Bradshaw and Farouk You had Taz. Taz. Oh man, I feel bad for him. They did him so dirty in WWE. You had Viscera. He exists. The Mean Street Posse. Let's see here. Taka Michinoku, Funaki, and the Headbangers.
Taka.
Along with the Holly Cousins. Crash coming into this match as hardcore champion, of course. And there was a lot of cookie sheets, a lot of trash can lids. It was a very silly match, and for what it was,
A Snickers jar.
It was good.
A jar of Snickers.
Yeah, that.
Because Snickers were promoting the show, so they had to have the obligatory insert ad.
Yeah. You know what? I would say worth it. I'm sure they got their money out of that one. So it was fun and all, but they botched the finish.
Yep.
So here's how it happened. Taz had Crash Holly in like the Taz mission, and it was like apparently I think you had to pin the champ. You couldn't pin any of the other people in the match. You had to actually pin the champ. Which in that case, why the fuck would you ever pin somebody before like a minute left in the match? That's dumb.
Now, I want to point out something.
I'm not getting an answer to this question, am I?
Nope.
No, because here's the thing. All the people who pinned the champion became a actual champion at that moment.
Well, congratulations. You got let's see here. Joey Abs was champion for 24 seconds.
The
Rodney was champion for 13 seconds. Funaki
thanks to this,
20 seconds. Was it worth it?
Thanks to this match, Taz became not only a 2-time champion, but the entirety of the Mean Street Posse became champion in one match.
Viscera got his only televised championship in this match.
Yep.
Dude was at the company for 15 years. This was the only time he ever held a title that was on TV. He did win King of the Ring, but that's not a title, and he also won the tag champs, but those were untelevised.
Yep.
Fucking wacky. So anyway, the finish of the match, Crash Holly's in the Taz mission, okay? Hardcore Holly runs in and smashes both of them in the head with a jar of candy. Like, was that the Snickers?
Yeah, that's the Snickers.
Yes. Okay. So he smashes them both in the head with the jar. Okay? The clock is counting down. The referee is being counted down in his ear. Hardcore Holly goes to pin Crash. Ref counts 1. Ref counts 2. Ref counts 3. Buzzer. Problem though, the order was supposed to be ref counts 1, ref counts 2, buzzer. Crash was supposed to walk out of there with the hardcore title by the skin of his teeth, because that was kind of his gimmick at the time. Like, he was hardcore champion against all odds. So so they messed up the finish. Hardcore Holly was furious, but that's kind of his default state. By the time Crash Holly, by the time they announced Hardcore Holly as the winner, Crash was like halfway up the ramp. He was fucking out of there, and then he was just like, "What? Wait, what? Why? No, my title!" Like, and then they kept revisiting it over the course of the night. It's like, guys, this is not a controversy; it's a botch. Don't bring this up more. You fucked up. What are you doing?
Like if this was I would understand if this was like a battle royal for the European title or the Intercontinental title or something like that.
No, it's the hardcore
title.
Because
then it's like, oh, we can use the just storylines. But it's a fucking hardcore title. It'll probably be on someone else the next night.
Well, that was kind of the thing. Like, apparently, I think back then Crash Holly had the title for a fuck long time, or if not consecutively, for like he kept leaving the arena with the title, and like, yeah. Which in that case, it's the fucking hardcore title. Pin hardcore Holly back. Why are there rules that have to be followed with the hardcore title? That's the whole gimmick. There's no rules. I'm not getting an answer to this one, am I? No.
No.
Fuck. Okay. So then after that, we had TNA, Test and Albert.
Tits and ass.
Well,
Wait, what?
That came with him. That was the manager.
Yes.
Trish Stratus. Back before,
by the way,
was,
that is the entire reason for that team. Test and Albert teamed together solely because they were going to be managed by Trish Stratus, and that was the joke.
Yeah.
Because she got tits and ass.
Very nice ones, in fact. Has this been made awkward yet? Cool.
Yes, it has.
All right. Fantastic. They were taking on Head Cheese, Al Snow, Steve Blackman. Who doesn't love Head Cheese? Everybody loves Head Cheese. What do we want?
This match was fun.
What do we want? A personality for Steve Blackman. When do we want it? Now.
I don't know. Some point.
But yeah, it was an all right match. It was kind of just capped off by like how Head Cheese attacked their manager, who was a midget in a
foam cheese suit.
Cool. They like TNA won, and then afterwards Head Cheese beat up the midget. Good, wholesome, Attitude Era fun. Next match is the good one. It's the Triangle Ladder match. Edge and Christian defeating the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys. Like, what needs to be said about this match? It's fucking terrific. Like, is it as good as, say, TLC 1 or TLC 2? That's up for debate. You can decide that on your own, but still, like, it's the three best tag teams in WWE at this time. Going fucking ham on each other with ladders and all kinds of fun things like that. I do like how at the very end of the match, like the Edge and Christian are like on the table on the ladder, okay, and it's rickety as fuck. Like, and Edge is just on the ladder celebrating, woohoo, I got the title. Christian is holding on to that ladder for dear life, as he should be, to be quite honest, because if he falls, he will die.
Here's a thing that has been said in interviews. Christian said, if I stood up, that was going down. The whole thing was going to go down.
But yeah, that was... It was a great match, and easily the best match on this card. Then, after that... probably the worst match of the card, but that's being just a little bit unfair to call this a match. It's Terry Runnels with the Fabulous Moolah versus defeating the Cat with Mae Young.
Val Venus was the special guest referee.
I was getting there. Val Venus was the special guest referee, and the entire joke was that this entire match could have taken place in one of his porn movies. Like,
yep.
Like, the way to win this match was to throw the other participant out of the ring. Terry and Kat spend the whole match macking on Val Venus, trying to get on his good side. Then the old ladies get into the ring, and they start trying to mac with Val Venus. Ha, old people. Like Mae Young is wearing like a nude colored like bodysuit, which is just that is the death of me. Like this sucked. This sucked a cock, and not in the way that Val Venus would have liked. Anyway, so after that was something that was not bad. It was a China and Too Cool versus the Radicals, and China at this point was so much cooler than these nerds. Like, she should have been teaming with fucking anyone else besides Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2. Like, I know Calcos likes Scotty 2 Hottie because he's from Maine, but fuck. But the reason to be interested in this match is China and Eddie Guerrero's interactions. They save this match because, like, Eddie's all, like, he's all suave and, like, trying to be charming, but is also a little bit of a creep. Like,
Little.
By Attitude Era standards, like, by Attitude Era standards, he was being subtle. So, like, he was trying to charm on China, kind of worked for a second, and then China rejected him, so he threw her into a ring post, but nobody cared because it was China, and China was over as fuck. Like, it was an all right match, like, but it is the kind of thing where you're like, man, China should be doing literally anything else. Like,
also, if I'm doing my math correct, this was Eddie Guerrero's first Mania match.
Oh yeah, this was the first Mania match for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, everybody in both the Triangle Ladder match and the Eurocontinental title match were all making their debuts, as well as the Radicals, because they came over in January of 2000, right after Benoit won the WCW title.
Also, this is an intergender match.
Well, yeah, because it's got
one of the rare intergender matches in WWE history.
Yeah, well,
China, China could do that. Like, she had the ability to hang with the guys.
Yeah, we've had a couple. I know at 13 and 14, I think there were a couple. I think 14 was Sable and Mark Marrow versus Luna Vachon and sorry,
yeah,
Luna Vachon.
Yeah, I forgot who the
Goldust.
On Goldust, right? Was it Gold? I thought it was something.
Yes, it was Goldust because it was really fucking weird.
Okay. Oh, right. This was like when he was the artist formerly known as Goldust phase.
Yeah. So there's that. Then there was getting back on the match. There was the 2-fall Eurocontinental title match between Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, and Kurt Angle. And maybe my expectations were just too high because it's Benoit, Angle, and Jericho. I think I'm well within my right to expect that this match is going to be fucking tits. But it was all right. Like, it had some good story stuff with Angle saying, like, Angle talking to security before the match, being like, "Hey, I'm going to be going into the crowd after I defend both of my titles, and like, I need you to make sure that nobody touches me," and all that. Like there was some good stuff in there. And during the match, Benoit pinned Jericho to win the IC title, and then Jericho pinned Benoit to win the Euro title. So Angle was never pinned, and he threw a fucking hissy fit afterwards. It's like, "I never got pinned. I should never lose the title," in that great early Kurt Angle kind of way. Like, fantastic stuff. But
it is a good match. It was a good match considering the stupid stipulation.
Yeah, but it it was a good match, but I was just expecting to be blown away. Because, it's three of easily the best workers in the company, probably best workers in the world at this point. And it was just fine. It was just fine.
Anyway, Kane Rikishi versus Road Dogg and X-Pac.
Aboard now.
This match is shite.
Yeah, X-Pac turned down a match with Chris Jericho to do this match. X-Pac was not smart back in the day.
He was also high a lot.
Probably. The best part about this match came after it was over, when Pete Rose came out and took a fucking nice choke slam. Dude had to be 50 something years old at the time, and he took a hell of a choke slam. Maybe it's just because Kane was in his prime at this point, but took a fucking nice choke slam. And then he got a stink face from Rikishi.
Yeah, Pete Rose took a lot of shit in the in the Attitude Era.
Pun kind of intended, I'm guessing.
Stink
face.
In Rikishi's case, but yeah, what was that thing from? What was it I think it was 2012 when they had the.
It was the anger management stuff.
Yeah, the anger management said Kane had I have a weird fixation with the guy named Pete Rose.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I have a fascination with torturing Pete Rose for reasons that have never been properly explained.
I also had a girlfriend named Katie, but it's best not to talk about that.
That was the best goddamn segment of this decade. I don't care. That was so fucking good.
Yeah, best comedy segment. Fair enough.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm still gonna say this is the best segment of this decade. I don't care.
Anyway, we have one more. You have one more match.
Do I have to?
This match was shit.
Well, you can just summarize since you already talked about it.
So we've been giving the main event of this year's main event of WrestleMania for being convoluted. This is on a whole nother fucking level. Imagine if 2 weeks, if basically this week when we're recording this, if this week on Raw, Asuka was just randomly added to the match. And then it was made into elimination. And then they added a bunch of McMahons for no fucking reason. That would suck dicks.
Want to know the stupid thing? They could actually do that.
Don't give them ideas, please.
Triple H backing Asuka, Vince with Charlotte, Shane with
Ronda.
Shane with Becky.
No, Shane with Ronda.
Shane with Ronda and Triple H with Becky.
No, Triple H.
No, Steph with Becky.
Triple H with Asuka, so then it would be Stephanie with Becky.
Yeah,
That's reasonable, I guess.
That's a stupid idea, and don't do it, WWE, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, this was shit. And the fucked up part was, they had a perfect WrestleMania staring them in the face. Triple H versus The Rock. Just do that. Just do that. And everything's great. Everything is great forever. Okay? You have...
Big Show was in this match for 5 minutes, basically.
Yeah. For no reason. I do not have any idea as to why the fuck they added the Big Show. I can understand why they added Mick Foley. Because, Vince didn't want Foley to retire without main eventing a WrestleMania one. That's fair. And if it had been those three guys, there's a lot of history that all three men share with each other. Triple H and Mick Foley, they had obviously just gone to war with each other. The Rock and Triple H, they feuded for the IC title with the Nation versus DX stuff. Huge history there. And then then The Rock and Mick Foley. I think that The Rock and Stock Connection had already been a thing by this point.
Yeah,
And
this was post Rock and Sock.
and on top of that, you had that one Royal Rumble match, or the I Quit match at Royal Rumble, I want to say 99, where The Rock murdered the shit out of Mick Foley.
Yep.
That, like, I went back
But
and watched. I
16
watched
unprotected
the
chair shots.
That was disgusting. As a fan of ECW back in the day, that was disgusting. Like, holy shit. Like, how did we not know at that point that that was bad for the brain?
We didn't.
How?
Also,
You're hitting
also
the part that does the thinkies with a big metal thing.
also, because we're forgetting something. If I'm remembering correctly, this does the Mania does come after the empty arena match.
Yeah, but no, they put Big Show in there, and like, and maybe the weirdest part about all of this was that Triple H went over. Triple H was a heel at this point.
It was the first time in Mania history where the heel champion, as the heel WWE champion, went over, or retained, I should say.
Right, that's weird. That's really weird. Like, yeah, The Rock kind of laid out everybody afterwards with rock bottoms, send the crowd home happy, but like, the crowd wasn't happy.
And also, like Vince double chair shot to The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
They probably could have just had just the two McMahons, like Steph and Vince, and you would have been fine.
Yeah. And I know that this would have been better if it had just been a one-on-one, because the very next month you had Rock versus Triple H one-on-one at Backlash. And wouldn't you know it, even in the year 2000, that might have been a match of the year contender. Because Rock H at Backlash was fucking terrific. And that could have happened at WrestleMania. But they overbooked the shit out of it, and they ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
WWE likes to overbook things.
More is better. No, it's not.
So, what do we take away from all three of the Manias that we had?
They need to stop relying on celebrities. They need to stop overbooking everything, and they need to stop being fucking retarded. Did I get it?
Vince McMahon doesn't know how to book things on his own.
When you need the help of Vince Russo to get this shit right, you are in fucking danger.
Well, keep in mind, Vince Russo was gone before the year 2000.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this was Steve, what's his face? I forgot who the...
Yeah, but also, like, the WrestleMania before this was not bad.
15? No, 15 was worse.
15 was worse?
Oh, yeah, 15 was much worse.
Really?
Yeah. That was the one that had the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where Bossman got hanged. Remember that, WWE?
Did he get written off in kayfabe after that, or did he come back?
I don't remember, but I know he did.
I'm going to check his Wikipedia page. Give me a second.
I do remember he came back for his feud with the Big Show, and also his feud with Al Snow. So.
Oh yeah, that was after this.
Yeah, Bossman had a weird year in 1990.
And came back to life.
Yeah, Bossman had a weird year in 1999. But
oh yeah, of course he came back. He was on the fucking WrestleMania 2000 card. Duh. We've been doing this for too long. I forget things.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, when we talk about shit, it goes way too long. It goes long.
It hurts our souls.
Maybe we could replace it next time when we talk about the good manias.
Yay, let's do that.
Yay!